If you've clicked on this video, you probably want to avoid getting bad at a sport while you're going into an exam season, and you've probably seen a lot of people around you give up their sport and their passion to do well in exams, or they just give up because they don't have the skills to be able to balance both. So in this video, hopefully I'll be able to teach you about how I managed to personally balance both. And even though I've had times where my sporting performance has gone down so much because I prioritize school, I learned things from it, and hopefully I'm going to teach you them now. So make sure you watch the whole video so you don't miss out anything important. So I want to start off by me telling you about a friend that I have. And this person, um, he, for some reason, he just had the ability to still do well when he was doing exams, especially during GCSEs in England. That was a couple years ago now, but it still stands true that for some reason, even I, who wasn't skipping that many sessions, I would do a lot worse during any competitions in this season. But for some reason, he would still set personal bests for like lifetime personal bests, right? And I was wondering why, and I was thinking, why the hell can't I do the same thing, right? And then I talked to him, and obviously I talk to him quite often. He trains with me and whatnot, but I talked to him, and he just seemed so chill about exams and so chill about swimming. And I realized that he lowered his expectations for swimming and put less pressure on himself to do well. And that's what kind of triggered me into doing everything that I'm doing now in order to see results in both. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Nikita, and I help young guys on their journey to reach their sporting and academic goals through self-improvement. If you like the sound of this community, consider liking and subscribing. It's a win-win for the both of us. So like I said before, you need to lower expectations for your sport if you're prioritizing your academics. So going into my finals exams at school, I made sure to lower my actual expectations for swimming, and I knew that any competitions I was going to be doing 1, 2, 3 months before might not be what I want them to be. For example, at the end of a swimming season, I would want to see personal bests by at least 1 or 2 seconds. I knew that when I'm peaking for a performance this season, I'm not going to reach those goals, even though I'm still training hard, right? When you set realistic expectations, you put less of a burden on yourself during that exam period. I'm not saying now I'm not putting my really big expectations on myself for swimming, but I'm going into a season where I'm focusing on training and I'm focusing on reaching my goals in terms of sports. But during the season where you're switching over to academics, you need to realize that the less stress that you put on yourself from sport, the more space in your head will be freed up to soak up content and just memorize things like that. Also, as soon as you do this, it becomes less of a burden. Sport becomes less of something that, oh, I have to attend, and you do it as downtime to almost enjoy it more. For me, swimming, right? You've heard I'm pretty serious about my swimming. It used to be such a burden for me to go training because I knew I'd have to try hard during that exam season. So every time I'd go to training, I'd be thinking, oh my God, I'm not fit. I have to train hard this session because I'm doing less sessions than normal. But as soon as you learn to enjoy it and have it as almost your downtime, and you socialize with people during that time instead of wasting time while you're trying to study, it becomes much more enjoyable and you take that pressure off yourself mentally. I also want to talk about something I talked about in my last video, and that's making the sport, in this case, your maintenance dose. So you have to lower your training sessions to a point where you can maintain those training sessions for 2, 3 months, but your performance won't decrease that much. There won't be like a diminishing return, right? So you can lose 15% of the performance you had before. You can add on 2 seconds, but that's still most of your fitness there. For me personally, I try to cut down to 5 sessions first, 3 months out instead of 8. So I do I train twice on a Monday and a Thursday, but I'm cutting down my evening sessions, so now I'm doing mainly mornings and I'm doing 5 sessions a week. That was 3 months before my exams, gave me a bit of time to get my habits down while still somewhat swimming properly. Then, as it gets closer, 2 months, 1 month, you want to go even lower. So, I'd recommend going to around 50% of the volume that you do before you start focusing on exams. As soon as you cut it to half and you've already got those habits built, you're going to realize that, oh my God, I got so much free time. I'm going to go and do something with that free time. I'm going to go study with that free time. You're going to go do your papers, like I always preach, do your past papers, learn the content that you don't know, and flashcards for the things that you struggle to remember. As soon as you reach this period in your life when you're like, okay, I need to actually focus on school, what I want you to do is I want you to set new goals. So in one of my old videos, I talked about how summer started, brand new set of goals. They're up on my wall there. When you change or when you shift your life over to focus on a new part, a new aspect of yourself, you're gonna need to set new goals so you have a clear direction. If you're focusing on grades and school, I want you to write down a set of grades that you want to achieve by the end of it. And don't make them realistic. Like, really don't make them realistic. Make them really difficult to achieve. So for me, my goal was double A star A. That is pretty difficult for me. But then I realized, why can't I get triple A star? So hell yeah, my goal was triple A star. And then as soon as you set that, you realize how much work you need to put in, and then you work on the 80, you use 80-20 rule, and you work on the 80% of the things that will get you most of the benefits, right? Past papers, learning content. After you do that, then you can work on the niche things to actually get you that A star, because everyone knows that getting to the A, you need to know a specific amount of content. When you want to get to that A star, there's small niches that you might not necessarily cover in class, and that's what you really have to go over. So I hope you enjoyed that video, just a quick one, and I wish you luck, and I'll see you in the next one.